Hello everyone, my name is Elle, welcome. Today I want to chat with you guys about a sensitive topic. So I normally stay quiet or try and keep out of controversial issues and problems that arise because largely I feel like I don't have a voice or that I shouldn't or have no reason to speak up or speak out because I don't want to speak over other people. I'm very cautious and I tend to tread lightly, but I feel like far too many people are staying silent on a very important issue. And yes, I am talking about the beauty industry and shade diversity. There's a fine line here because I know sometimes it can really come off disingenuous. Sometimes it seems like people have ulterior motives, but I honestly just want to have a discussion about drugstore brands and diversity problems that I have witnessed and things that I've heard from other people. And I want to be another voice for the fight because if I stay silent, I'm not helping anybody. There are a couple of high-end brands that have been inclusive for a very long time, like MAC, Makeup Forever, NARS, but it took Fenty Beauty to really change the game and get people talking. But we are talking about pretty pricey products. Drugstore foundations, concealers, powders, those base products can be really good. But the problem is there are no choices and there are no options for a lot of people. Not only is drugstore makeup more affordable, but in theory it should be more accessible. Diversity should be accessible. Part of the fun of drugstore shopping is being able to go into a store and swatch products and try things and see what works for at a more affordable price point. There are people of all skin tones who love makeup who can't necessarily afford a $40, $50, $60 foundation. Now, a brand doesn't have to have 40 different shades of a foundation to be inclusive. It's about the distribution of shades. So what brands do it well? One drugstore brand that actually comes to mind for me is Maybelline. Maybelline actually has 40 shades in their Fit Me line. Seriously, 40 shades. I saw it on their website. I was shocked because I thought I'd read a smaller number, but then I see 40 shades and I went through and I counted 40 shades from Fair Porcelain to Espresso. Now, these are recent additions. They did add a couple of fair shades and quite a few deeper shades out of the additional shades that they added. They were criticized. Maybelline was criticized for a long time about only catering to a white demographic, but they listened and they changed. They're also inclusive with their advertisements, including social media as well. So I think that's something else that's important when it comes to talking about diversity, is that it's not just about having the shades, but it's actually about showing people wearing these shades, and not just models, but people. And you see that with Maybelline. They are showing people of a variety of skin tones. Look at their Instagram, for example. You will see a variety of people, not just one type or one certain demographic. Drugstore brands, Maybelline especially, really capitalize on magazine ads and television ads, so it's really important to have diversity there too. The beauty industry has been problematic for so long because they were just showing one specific kind of beauty. And now, as time goes on, especially with social media, in my opinion, we are seeing more facets of beauty. Everyone should be able to feel beautiful, and no, that doesn't have to come from putting makeup on your face, but makeup is a symbol. To not see a reflection of your own face, of your own skin tone when you look at advertisements for beauty must be absolutely soul-crushing. To feel like you are not good enough because you don't fit within the narrow ideals carved out by, let's face it, archaic industry is just, it absolutely breaks my heart. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've talked to a few people and I've heard their stories about why diversity matters and why it's so important. And I don't know why these brands, these companies aren't listening. I don't know what they're not hearing. But anyway, on a brighter note, to continue on talking about some brands that are good, NYX. NYX is a really fantastic drugstore brand all around because they have a huge variety of products. Their newest foundation has 30 different shades, again, varying from very fair to very deep. It's so good to see that nice gradient of diversity there. They also have options within their powder and concealer products as well. It's not just limited to their one thing. And they are excellent at promoting diversity on their various Instagrams and Twitters, because they don't just have like one NYX. Like there's NYX overall, but then they have like NYX Canada, and there's NYX for different countries across the world. NYX just seems like such a supportive, inclusive brand all around. Next, L'Oreal, which looks pretty good to me. Their True Match line looks really good. They have a wide variety of shades and undertones, and everything's broken up so easily. I don't see or hear L'Oreal talked about very often, so there very well could be something I'm missing. But I did find a quote from the managing director from L'Oreal, Adrian Koskas, because he's been advocating for change. And I just want to share this quote with you guys because I think it's really interesting. So the quote I have is, "L'Oreal has a big mission, sharing beauty for all. The easy bit is putting a diverse crew of models in advertising. The hard bit is creating products that cater to a diverse range of consumers. You have to convince the bosses, the factories, the labs, the retailers. Honestly, it has been a big battle." Now, to be honest, I tend to skip over L'Oreal at the drugstore because the price point tends to be pretty high. We are talking $20+ for a foundation. I don't know what it is about drugstore prices, but once I see that $20+, like the last time I looked at a L'Oreal foundation, I think it might have been the True Match Lumi, it was like $21.99. I was like, nope, can't do it. But after reading a little bit more about L'Oreal, I definitely want to try them more. CoverGirl, oh CoverGirl. CoverGirl was my favorite drugstore brand for a long time, and on the surface they have that illusion of being good. The True Blend range has 21 shades. That's really good for a drugstore brand especially, but sometimes, I mean, even for higher end brands, they can't even pull out more than 15 shades. But their newest foundation, it's called Vitalist Elixir, and there's 14 shades and not a great variety at all. And their concealer options are just really, really lacking. Like, they're bad. I was on their website and I couldn't believe how bad the concealer options were. I mean, they might add shades later, like to their new foundation, the Vitalist Elixir. They might add new shades at some point, but what does that say? That's a huge part of the problem. It gives the message that anybody who wasn't included in that first launch are afterthoughts. It's just not acceptable. They can release the shades. If they're going to release 10 more shades, just do it all at one time. But CoverGirl ads and their social media does tend to be fairly good, so I do give them points for that. Revlon is another almost. It's another brand that, you know, they could be good. And I don't know why they haven't tried. They have an okay range with their Color Stay foundation, but if you look at some of their other foundations, some of their newer releases, Photo Ready Insta Filter, Youth FX, Photo Ready Airbrush Effect, I feel like some brands are trying to sneakily continue to behave the way they always have. You know, they're pushing out a line before it's complete and then adding to it later based on some sort of demand, and that's not okay. With the billions of dollars that these companies and their parent companies generate every single year, you think they could invest a little bit on their actual consumers. Wet n Wild is a brand I wanted to mention pretty quickly because they've only recently made a shift with their branding. They have the Photo Focus foundation, which is excellent. The concealer range could be much better, but the foundation range is really good. You know, I think Wet n Wild has potential to become one of the best at the drugstore because they are progressive and they are showing that they are changing and that they're listening to people. Milani seemed bad to me until I actually went on their website, because on websites that sell Milani, they usually have a very small selection of shades available for their foundation. In store, I've only ever seen like 5 shades of beige. I haven't seen anything fair, and I haven't seen anything close to dark or deep, sometimes not even medium shades, depending on where I go. Like, just a very narrow selection. But on their website, it does look like they have more options, especially on the darker end of the spectrum, which is surprising to me that it's only online. And I can't even find a lot of places that sell those darker shades. I don't know why brands do that. When you see that they have certain shades that are online only, exclusive to online, why not make it easier for more people to get at it? Why should people only be able to order those specialty shades online? Now, this next brand, this might be a little controversial, but I don't think Elle is good. I think their base products, their range of shades suck. They really do not have good options. And yes, I know it's a very cheap brand. It's everybody's go-to affordable brand for cheap product. But they have like 3 or 4 options for concealer, and everything tends to be like gray or orange. They have one foundation that has, I think, 10 or 11 shades, which looks okay, but the undertones are seriously lacking. I mean, I know for a foundation that's like $5, for a brand that has so many cheap products, they're not likely to have 40 shades, but they hardly have any options. When you look outside of that one foundation range, you see they have like 3 or 4 shades options in their other complexion products. And I don't know why they can't focus on one and add a few more undertones, make it a little bit better for people so people would actually want to use it. I see a lot of people talking about boycotting brands, not purchasing from them anymore because of the diversity issues. And I'm just wondering if Elle is going to be part of that. Because as good as they are on social media and the variety of other products they have, you know, I think the diversity thing needs to be questioned a little bit. I mean, where do you draw the line? All right, so 2 more brands I want to talk about. Physicians Formula. Physicians Formula is trying. I'm serious, they are trying. They recently came out with a new foundation. It's called the Healthy Foundation, and it has 16 shades. They have them spread out from light, 4 medium, 4 dark, and 4 deep. That is actually impressive, especially when you look at the products they had before. 3 shades of beige. Now, they don't have any fair options, but maybe they will add some. I don't think it has to be an either or discussion. I think that they can add fair shades and they can still add deep, dark, medium shades. It doesn't have to take away. You don't have to take away from one to add to another. The thing is, it's going to be very hard and probably very expensive to convert customers because nobody's checking for Physicians Formula anymore when it comes to their base products. People automatically assume that they have a shade range that sucks. I was one of those people who was calling Physicians Formula out for having a crappy shade range until I was corrected. My friend Hunter is the one who told me about this new formula and the range of shades they have, and I'm not even sure how she found out about it because it doesn't seem like Physicians Formula is really advertising it hard. It's like they're waiting for people to discover it and then talk about it so that they don't actually have to spend money and do the work. And finally, Almay. They are totally laughable at this point, but I'm just mentioning them because you really can't avoid the white elephant in the room. It's just so blah. I don't know how the brand still exists, to be honest. I thought it was pretty cool when they put Rashida Jones in their ads because I love her, but honestly, she was the safest woman of color they could possibly pick. I'm sure most people don't even realize that she's mixed race. I just have this impression that Almay is like, hey guys, look at us. You can't hate us. We're not racist. Look at our black friend. And it's just so... it just does not feel genuine at all. So what's the point in all of this? Everybody already knows there's a problem, so why keep talking about it? Well, if we don't keep talking about it, things will never change. I am not speaking for anybody. I am speaking for myself as a person who gives a damn about other people. That's what it should come down to. It shouldn't come down to whether or not it affects us personally, but the fact that we are human beings and that we care about each other. So I would really love to keep this conversation going. Please let me know what you are doing to try and combat this if you are not purchasing from certain brands, or if you are purchasing from specific brands. I'd love to know what brands you are supporting and what brands you would recommend for me. I'm always looking to try new things, and I'm just trying to make better choices personally. And you know, growth is not linear, but I am trying really hard and I want to try and speak up as much as I possibly can. As cheesy as it sounds, I truly think we can be the change, but it has to be together. United we stand. Anyway, that is all I have to say for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope we get a chance to talk soon. Bye for now.